I got a lot of books this week. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can tell, I'm on a different angle again. I'm a hoarder apparently because my room is a complete mess and it was really hard to find an angle in this room that didn't expose the messy situation that I am in right now. But this week I got a lot of books. It was mostly because I went to a Chapters Indigo event that took place this Sunday, and what happened was that a lot of publishers like to give Chapters Indigo a lot of books to push, especially to their bloggers and especially to the employees themselves, because I think it's the idea that if you read the book, then you kind of like the book and then you know where the book stands, and then you decide whether or not to sell it within the stores, or at least something like that. But we went to the annual, or not annual, but the seasonal YA teen preview, and we were able to learn a lot about the new releases that were taking place next year and in the upcoming fall months. And at the end of the event, the category manager actually told us just to take as much as we want, which is basically we all rushed to the piles and piles of books left on the tables and the back counters, and we just grabbed as much as we could, or grabbed at least the books that we wanted to read. And this wasn't the first time I've been to an event like this, or I've been to a Chapters Indigo event before, so I kind of like tamed myself, but in the end I still ended up hauling a bunch of books. So I wanted to show you about those books that I received, or that I got and I picked up. And I also got a couple of books from publishers as well in the mail, and I thought I'll show you that as well. So this haul is depending on when I'm going to upload again, but this haul is going to be different from the haul that you'll see at the end of a vlog that I'm filming currently right now. That vlog is based on two events, the Toronto Writers Romance Writers Conference, and then also Word on the Street. This one is just this week outside of the two events and that haul. I said this before that I don't like filming a monthly haul because I receive too many books, I get too many books, I buy too many books, and just filming a haul for 50 books in one shot will literally kill me inside, because editing that would just kill me. It takes so long to edit when I'm talking about summaries of books. But anyways, without further ado, I have around 16 to 18 books here to show you, so let's get started. So the first book that I have to show you is It Started With Christmas by Jenny Hall or Hale. So this book is actually from Forever Romance, and they sent a copy for me to review, and this is in line with their Christmas holiday romances, which is something that I personally cherish a lot. I love the Christmas holiday season books. If you don't read romance and you want to try reading romance, maybe this will be your cup of tea, a Christmas romance. So this is the story of a girl named Holly, and Holly and her Nana are going back to the cabin where they usually spend their Christmas, but there's a lot of snow that's happening, and of course they kind of get snowed in, but to their surprise, I think somebody's already living in the cabin that they were supposed to be sleeping over with, and is a hot and wealthy man named Joseph Burns, and they try to make the best out of the situation by just hanging out with each other in the cabin, baking goods, and I guess being in the holiday spirit. So the next book that I have to show you is Snowfall and Cedar Trail by Anne Rains, and this book is also sent to me by Forever Romance, and this one is about a girl named Helona or Halona, and she is the owner of a flower shop, and it's usually really busy for her during the Christmas season with all the bouquets that she has to make, but she just wants to spend a good Christmas with her son as she is a single mom. They're doing a Secret Santa exchange, and turns out the hunky police Alex Baker is the Secret Santa too, so that they kind of like work together and they're trying to fight off their attraction for each other and things like that. But Helona's secret past comes rushing back, and suddenly they're kind of like tossed up, and it seems like there's going to be some drama. Not sure there's going to be. Next book that I received is My Kind of Wonderful by Jill Chavous, and this book was also sent to me by Forever Romance, or from Forever Romance, and this book is about Bailey Moore, and Bailey Moore just went through chemo, and she just realized that she's a survivor of cancer, and after that she just knows that she wants to live her best life. So on her top of no regrets list, she decides that she is going to go skiing. As you can tell, there are mountains here, and she doesn't expect to fall in love with the head of the ski patrol, King Cad. So it sounds like it's going to be an emotional journey as well as a sweet romance as well, and definitely check this one out if you're looking into an emotional one. So the next book that I have to show you is Grownup Prose by Sonia Lally, and this book comes out next year in 2020, and I was actually very excited when I requested this book and Penguin Random House Canada actually sent me a copy. They actually had ARCs available, and I'm so excited. If you guys don't know who Sonia Lally is, she wrote a book this year called The Matchmaker's List, and I, for one, actually really enjoyed that book. It was about a strong, opinionated career woman who was focused on her career and everything, but then she also was still in love with her ex, and she was and with the pressures of her culture and how she should have gotten married because she's a little bit old. Not a little bit old, but she's in her 30s, and that's old in her culture. But anyways, I'm excited to read Grownup Prose, which is about a girl named Anu, and Anu is a 30-something, opinionated, high-strong, like really strong woman, and she divorced her husband, and she has a daughter to take care of. And instead of letting tradition and culture and her family like tell her what she wants to do or tell her what to do, she decides to invest a lot of her money into a yoga studio, and she is practicing yoga, and now she's trying to find out what kind of person she wants to be for the remaining years of her life, and also how she wants to define herself in her cultural society. And I can't wait to read this Own Voices book as well. Yay! So the last book that I received from a publisher or a distributor is actually The Girl the Sea Gave Back by Andrew Young, and this book is a book from Raincoast Books, so thank you for giving it to me. And it is a young adult fantasy novel that I think is already out. It was published on September 3rd, 2019, so go pick it up if you haven't already. But this book is something that a lot of my friends have read and they thoroughly enjoyed it, and I, for one, don't really read young adult fantasy that much, but I am always intrigued about reading this genre when it comes to fall, and I'm excited to read it because I read a lot of thrillers lately, and I also read a lot of fantasy. So from the back of this book, they actually don't really tell you what this book is about. I think it's like rune stones, like she has rune stones and she has magical powers, and she has to save the land and her people, and she needs to return back to home. I'm actually not too sure. I may be in another series. I just picked it up, but also what happened was that I was at the Chapters Indigo event and I wasn't expecting Raincoast to send me a copy, so I picked up a copy at the event, so now I have 2 copies, and I guess I'm just gonna give 1 copy away to my friend in Toronto or like anybody who's interested in this book. But yay for duplicates, I guess. So now moving on to the stacks of books that I picked up at the Chapters Indigo event. The first book that I picked up was actually The Raven Boys by Maggie Stevewater, and I actually never read this series before, and I never read this book obviously before. So The Raven Boys, for those who haven't read it, it's about a girl named Blue and Gansey, which is a guy that she ends up meeting at a private school, and there she is thrown into the life of the Raven Boys, which includes Adam, Ronan, and Noah, and there is a lot of fan art, and a lot of people love this series so much that there is so much fan art that I always see on Tumblr, and it's always so angsty and dark and like romantic, and I just want to try it out and see if I would like this book as much as a lot of people. I know from a fact that a long time ago my friend read this book and she told me that it was a very slow burn novel up until the ending, and it was picked up really quickly and it was really good, and that I should read it. But then obviously I didn't read it until, well, I still never read it, but you know, I didn't pick it up until now at the event, so maybe I'll read it and I'll see if I like it. And if you did read the series and you loved it so much, please let me know, and then I'll get to it as soon as possible. So the next book that I picked up at the Chapters Indigo event is Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore, and this book is a book I actually won because there are some trivia questions and I got to pick out some books before everybody went to the books, so this one was probably like the last copy. But if you guys haven't read this one yet, it's actually from Berkeley Romance, and this book is about Annabelle Archer, and she is trying to get women's suffrage movement in place, and she needs to have a man of influence to champion this project. And so she sets her eyes on the Duke of Montgomery, and they work together to, you know, have women's rights and have women vote and things like that. And I know for a fact that a lot of my friends also really like this book. I have one friend at the event that was basically shouting from the rooftops that this book was the perfect historical romance because we have a strong female character and the romance, I guess, was like cute and fluffy as well. So I'm excited to read this one. Plus the cover is just gorgeous, but I do have to say that it's a little text heavy. It takes up a lot of space, but you know what? We're not here to judge book covers. So this book was actually found in my goodie bag, so I didn't have to fight anybody for it, but it's called Tweet Cute by Emma Lord, and this is from Wednesday Books. And this book is like modern day society romance. It all takes place on Twitter, as you can tell from the title. It's about Pepper and Jack. Now Pepper and Jack go to the same high school, I believe, and they don't really run in the same social circles, but they both come from families that own fast food chain restaurants, and they both also manage their respective Twitter accounts for their family restaurants, and they do a lot of memes and snarky retorts, like similar to what we're seeing nowadays on a lot of social media like platforms on Twitter, from like Wendy's or Taco Bell, or from well, I just saw that Chex Mix had one, and basically they're running with the idea that the social media managers are just using a lot of memes and a lot of like sarcastic retorts to get and drive business. And I'm excited to read this after I read the synopsis. So if you guys are a fan of snarky romances, I think you should probably pick this one up as well. So the next book that I picked up is Sick Kids in Love by Hanna Moskowitz, and this book is coming out in November 2019. And this book is about two kids that are chronically sick, that doesn't seem like they're gonna get better anytime soon, and they're basically gonna be living a life where there's a lot of illness. And we meet Isabel, and Isabel knows that she can't fall in love. She has a rule where she doesn't date, where she doesn't fall in love, where she doesn't do a lot of things, because she knows that it's going to be very hard for her in the end. If anything happens to her, then it's going to be hard for her to say goodbye. But then she meets a boy, and the boy is, they don't even tell us the name of the boy on the back of the cover, but he's sick as well, and they fall in love. And it's, I guess it's going to be a romantic story about two people who are sick and falling in love and things like that. I'm not sure if that's something that I want to read right now, because it's kind of like really depressing and things like that. It sounds like it's going to be another The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, and I never really liked The Fault in Our Stars, by the way, because it was just a little too depressing. So the next book that I picked up is 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston, and this book I actually won in the giveaway at the event as well, because I answered the trivia question correctly and my 2 brain cells actually worked. And this book is something that I really wanted to read once I first saw it. They actually have a finished cover, and there's a girl standing underneath the tiny mistletoe, and it's cuter, but you know what, this cover's cute too. This one is actually a Christmas young adult romance, so if you guys haven't checked it out already, this one's coming out in October 2019. And this book is about Sophie, and Sophie loves her boyfriend named Griffin. They're having a great time with each other, and they're planning to spend the holidays with each other, but then Griffin kind of just wants to end it and wants to break up with her. And Sophie, heartbroken, spends the holidays with her family until her Nana sees that she's really upset about not having someone for the holidays, and she's feeling alone. So Nana devises a plan to ask her family members, 10 different family members, to set Sophie up on 10 different blind dates. And there she meets like a bunch of cool guys. They get to know each other, and then Griffin comes back, and Griffin wants to be in a relationship with her again, but now she's left more confused than ever, and she doesn't know what to do, because she might have started having feelings for someone who is definitely not available. So I'm excited to read this romance, because A, it's a Christmas romance, and B, it sounds super duper cute. And yeah. So the next book that I picked up is a glossy one, so I'm sorry for the glare, but this book is called Cupid's Match by Lauren Palfer. Yeah, it's a long name, and I don't read, and I can't read, but this one is actually published under Wattpad Books. If you guys haven't noticed already, or if you guys don't know the news, Wattpad is actually publishing their most popular books on the platform into actual print, and they're getting ready to distribute it to retailers and stores across Canada, and also I guess across America too. Like, they are available for print. And there is a lot of judgment towards Wattpad books, because a lot of people don't think that Wattpad books have a lot of good quality in them. You know, they're usually poorly written, they're usually extravagant, like the plot lines are like really crazy and things like that. But this one sounds like something I might actually pick up and read. So this one is about Lila Black, and Lila Black Lila Black keeps hearing back from the Cupids matchmaking service, and she's like, what's going on? Like, this is so annoying. Like, why are you guys bothering me? And things like that, right? But turns out the Cupid matchmaking service is actually the real deal. It has something to do with the Greek god's name, more specifically Cupid. And they have a really big trouble with Lila's match currently right now, like her current boyfriend, because her current boyfriend's actually not even in the system, and he could actually be really dangerous to her. So they're trying to save her, because it turns out that Lila is actually matched to Cupid himself. So it's going to be a world of fantasy and contemporary and like romance and things like that, and it sounds like it has a lot to do with the Greek mythology. So I'm excited to give this book a try. So I'll let you guys know if I end up picking it up, and obviously you'll see it in a review either on my Goodreads or on the channel. The next book that I picked up is Cold Falling White by G.S. Prendergast, and this book sounds like a similar book that I've read already from Simon Schuster. It's called Zero Repeat Forever, but basically this book takes place in a utopian world where a lot of technology and a lot of the government is controlling humans and making them into human experiments and things like that. Like, you're being changed into something else other than 100% human. And this book is about Xander, and Xander tries to survive this world without getting turned into an experiment. He's doing really well for himself, and he's in the territory that is basically really like scary and dangerous, and where his enemies lies. And that's when he meets a girl named Raven, and Raven wakes up and she knows for a fact that she has changed, and she has changed into something that she doesn't want to be. So it's about these two characters who are working together to fight for the better cause and to just survive in a world that seems like it's Earth, but it's actually like an alien planet kind of thing. I think if you guys are fans of sci-fi and fantasy, this book might be for you. So the next book that I picked up is Shadow Frost by Koko, and this book is actually going to be in a Chapters Indigo book box coming very soon, so you guys might see a finished copy very soon as well. This one's a very glossy cover, so I think that they're gonna fix it and they're gonna make it into a matte hardcover, but as you can tell, you could already see that I'm in the photo. So this book is very interesting to me because the author herself is very interesting. She's born in 2000, so that would make her 19 years old. She already holds a college degree from Juilliard for piano, and she wrote a book and published the book, as you can see because I'm holding it right now, and she's currently going to school into an Ivy League school. So currently she's also going to Yale University or Yale College, and she knows how to play piano, she knows how to write, she knows how to do a lot of all these things. And basically Koko is somebody that my parents probably wanted me to be when I was young, but clearly I failed them, or because I'm here making YouTube videos. No, I'm joking. It's just like she's so well accomplished, and good for her. Good for Koko. So basically Shadow Frost is a book about like this planet and this princess, and this princess wants to protect her people and everyone on it, but there is a demon and monster ready to overturn the whole planet and kill everyone and to take over the planet, and all these soldiers are sent out to kill this monster, but they never return, and this princess just wants to save. So she goes on an adventure with her friends, and then they realize that a lot of people are actually trying to kill the princess, which is her, and now she has to, like, she's basically either gonna be killed or get killed by the demon, and now she has to like make a choice to see how she survives. So the next book that I picked up is The Light at the Bottom of the World, and as you can tell, it's the futuristic world of an underground London, and you can see that there's like a lot of water and jellyfishes, and here this is the London like skyscraper, like the landscape, like the buildings. I don't know, words, what are words? Basically this book doesn't really tell us much in the back of the synopsis. They try to save someone's father from imprisonment, and there's danger lurking. So I guess there's a lot of like sea monsters that are really dangerous, and they're ready to basically kill them if they interact with them. And this book comes out in October 2019. Honestly, I'm not really that big a YA fantasy reader, and it's going to be really hard to sell me a book when your synopsis isn't that great. Like, will I strive to pick it up? like over others? No, but if I do hear a lot of good things about this book, then I definitely will check it out. But yeah, if you guys are interested, definitely check. So the next book that I picked up is a book by Stan Lee and Kate Rosenfield, and it's called A Trick of Light. And this was sold to me as a superhero romance that takes place outside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm excited to see what Stan Lee has in store for us. But basically this is about two teenagers who are famous on the internet. One girl named Nia has 1 million followers, and also Cameron does a lot of his jobs on YouTube and does vlogging, and he's fairly successful and popular. After doing an exploration in Lake Erie, which is one of the Great Five Lakes in Canada, they fall into the lake, mysterious accident happens, and then they're reborn, or they come out of the waters with supernatural powers. So that's really pollution for you in our lakes. But no, I'm joking. And yeah, so then now they have to defend evil with their superpowers, and I'm excited to read it because I love superhero novels, and I just want to see what Stan Lee has in store for us, because the only things I read from him were comic books, and I don't think that gives him like a full flush of what he can take it or where he can take the story. So I just want to see his creativity in this, and of course I do miss Stan Lee after his passing. So the next book that I have to show you is Havenfall by Sarah Holland. And if you guys think that this name is familiar, where is she from? She actually wrote the series Everless and Evermore with HarperCollins, and I actually read Everless and I love that story. I never read Evermore yet, but I'll definitely soon pick it up. But I know that Sarah is a master crafter with YA fantasy, and this is exactly what it is. But this one's with Bloomsbury, and this one actually comes out next year in March 3rd, 2020. This book doesn't really tell us much about it, but there's a lot of ancient realms. It sounds like it's going to be an adventure novel, and it sounds like a girl has to sacrifice everything to protect a dark and dangerous secret. So there's a lot of mystery to it. I don't know what the genre is about. Like, I don't know if it's about angels, I don't know if it's just about demons and things like that, but I'll be interested to do my little research afterwards and go on Goodreads to see like what kind of story am I actually walking in. So the last book that I received is Diamond City by Francesca Flores, and this book comes out in January 2020, and this book was sold to me as a very dark and gritty YA novel. It's about a girl named Aina, and she is 18 years old, and she's also a professional assassin, and she travels in like these dark and like twisted tunnels to kill people, but the only way to get out of the business that she is in is to kill her boss, and her boss is a not so nice man. It's really dangerous, and it sounds like it's going to be a very adventurous YA novel, and I can't wait to see how dark it can get. I know the person who sold it to me was like, it's really dark and gritty, and I'm like, okay, well, like, you know what, I'm kind of in the mood for it, so let's see if I actually pick it up, and you guys will definitely hear my thoughts about this as well. So that is it for my book haul for this week. Thank you to all the publishers who sent me all these books, and also thank you to Chapters Indigo for inviting me to the event where I got to pick up majority of all these books that I received. I am excited to read a couple of them, and I'm sorry if my energy drained a little bit and I seemed a little bit spazzled, but talking about so many books really does drain me a lot, and that's exactly why I don't do a massive book haul at the end of the month, because I would literally be dying. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Bye. Can't let you go. I can't let you go, no. Betcha. 우리 운명적 I'm gonna get you.